Well, hey, well, big welcome back to the channel. Well, you know, sometimes you make a bad call. Well, hands up, I made a bad call. And our day just went from bad to worse, and it just kept on going. And if you watch until the end of the video, you'll see exactly what I mean. But before you tell me what a muppet I am, I think for me, unquestionably, it's that desire to drive the road lesser travelled or take that gravel track that's taken us to the most incredible places and given us some of our best overnight stops. Let's have a look. As we leave the Durmitor National Park, the roads are quiet, which helps in avoiding the rock to the right of us. We head south, back to the coast towards the old town of Kotor, but the day's getting on, so we decide to find somewhere to park up for the night. Okay, so we could park just there on the right hand side.
Yeah.
Despite the beautiful start to the day, the clouds roll in. Well, I think we might be in for yet another storm. Well, I think it's fair to say we've had our share of storms this year. It's been a bit of a crazy year. But what it has done is clear the air, and it's so cool now. It's absolutely lovely. And we've lost the humidity. It feels like it's 10 degrees lower, which is just gorgeous. So we sometimes get asked about water. Where do you fill up? How do you find places? And today is a really good example. We needed some water driving down the road, and there's like a big furniture place here, and right beside the building, there was a hose pipe. We drove past, thought perfect, spun round, come back, spoke to them inside, and they said, yeah, of course you can, absolutely no problem. So here we are. And we didn't, I say we needed water. We needed about 150 litres, so we had lots of water, but I always like to try and keep it topped up. So we're just on our way to Kotor this morning, and the road is just okay. So we're just having a little look actually, because the final part of the road actually is a bit crazy. If you have a look at this, you can see what I mean. So you can see here. Wait, hold on, look at that.
Yeah, it says the coast road is 19 minutes slower, but I think for us it will actually be quicker. So I think we should, it's only a few minutes back there, I think we should turn around and do the coast road.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay, so after yet another little conflab, we decided to stick with plan A, stay on this road. The other road was 26 minutes slower, and it may have been a better road, but I think this one's more interesting. Well, I'm really pleased we stuck on this road today, because there's some gorgeous little villages about. It's really picturesque. It's obviously a bit of a tourist route. There's lots of places selling food, wine. You can see all the vines as well, and there's loads of little sort of brown signs indicating various sort of attractions. But it's absolutely beautiful. Other than a few cyclists, the road's clear, and as we start our descent, you get a feel for the landscape, and we catch a glimpse of the bay below us. The tunnels are 4.5 metres high, so there's plenty of room, provided you stay in the middle. Well, I'm so pleased we've come this way, because it's just a spectacular drive. I'm glad the road's not too busy though. Well, I was getting told off for filming.
So So Phil's famous last words were, "It's just glad the road isn't busy," and since then we've met about 17 cars.
Yeah. Right, so we've got a crazy set of switchbacks ahead of us. They're just one after another. There's about sort of 10 of them.
It's quite a narrow road.
Yeah, but there's loads of passing places. It's alright. Look at that, it's really wide. We've been on a lot worse, that's for sure. Right, there we go, it's the start of it. Pretty tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of these switchbacks are tight. Wow, look at that bay.
Just as the trees come into view. Yeah, that is pretty special.
So about a year ago, Izzy would have been beside herself at this stage. She'd have been swearing and cursing and telling me to turn around or stop or she would have to get out, but she's got better.
So we have gridlock. We're on a tight little space and there's a few cars coming towards us, but a whole load of cars from behind us decided to overtake when we pulled over to let the people coming towards us through. And now the first car that got stuck, the little white Peugeot, can't seem to drive through a space where there's enough room for a tank. So we're just going to sit here.
Do you know, there's just no tolerance.
There
with
isn't.
I think, do you know what, the local people, the Montenegro people, they're absolutely fine. They kind of get it, and they're, you know, they'll pull in and let you stop. But some of the other Balkan nationalities, you can see them, they just want to overtake, they just have to get in there, and then it just causes this. Right, Izzy's loving this.
I am so not.
She's loving this because she said, I told you we should have done the coast road. So we've met a coach on a really narrow section of the road, and it's not ideal.
He's going back, but there's traffic behind him as well. But just down here there's a switchback, and usually where the switchbacks are, there's space for more than two quite big vehicles to go past each other. It's just like what's behind him has got to go back too. So this number here, 13, is slowly going down, so I'm assuming we have another 12 to go before we actually get to the bottom.
Okay, big hands up. I got this one wrong. So it's got busier and busier, and a few people on the bends have stopped and said, you can't go down there, it goes down to a 5-ton weight limit, the police are down there and you'll get a big fine, like €1,000 fine. So we are going to make, well, I've made the decision to go back up the hill again, so we've literally just sort of stopped in a little sort of offshoot single track to turn round and go back up the hill again, retrace our steps and reassess. I think. I know Izzy's not very happy with me.
I'm not. That was quite stressful coming down. Going back up again is just going to be even more stressful.
No way.
And I did say.
I said I'm sorry. Okay. Right, let's go back up. I'm still apologising. All I can say is, it seemed like a good idea at the time. But yeah, we're still gridlocked. So we've actually got quite a short wheelbase, and the vehicle itself isn't particularly long in comparison to the 3 coaches in front of us. which are all double axle at the back.
Hi there. Is this normal?
For this time of the year, yes.
Okay. Ah, the poor bus drivers.
So Izzy just spoke to a local guy coordinating traffic. Not an official of any sort. I think he's on one of the buses actually, and he said, Izzy said, "Is it like this every day?" He said, "Yeah, pretty much." Which is unbelievable that they would allow this to happen every single day. I mean, you think it'd just make it a one-way road. The road's good enough, but not for big vehicles. We're about 5 hours in. I'm still apologising.
You're going to keep on apologising, I think, at least for 5 weeks.
Thankfully, Izzy is okay with it. It's unusual.
I have no choice, do I really? I'm stuck in a cab with you. There's no point in being annoyed, angry, wanting to thump you in the face. I mean, none of that. You know?
So it's like 7 feet forward.
I think
stop.
Washing up duties for at least a month.
I do the washing up anyway.
Assembling duties then for at least a month.
You know I cook.
We've got all these people taking photographs of us as we get past. Probably to put them up and say, look at these morons coming up this road.
Right, we've got a long way to go yet. I have no idea what time we're going to get out of here today. It's going to be an all day thing. Let's just have a look at this road.
We've decided we like the buses. We're now actually following them back up the hill in the certain knowledge that if they can get through, we can follow them. And actually cars move out of the way for the buses, unlike how they don't move out of the way for us. So it's quite handy. We just hope that the police aren't waiting at the top for us.
Okay, all the buses have pulled in at the viewpoint. And we've got a pretty much clear road. We're past the Serpentine end of the pass. So yeah, let's see how it goes, although it's still tight. Right, we've just stopped for a bite of lunch, late lunch, by the side of the road. I'm still apologising. Sorry, Izzy. In fairness, she's been good as gold about it.
Okay.
But look, it happens. We've done hundreds of those types of roads. But yeah.
I certainly wasn't expecting to see a coach on it.
Well,
let alone 3 coaches.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the way it is sometimes. So yeah, we have obviously spun around, we've come back. We've probably got about another 2.5 hours to go back on ourselves effectively. So yeah, it's going to be
a long way round.
A long day on the road. I'll make it up to you tonight. Buy a glass of wine.
Thanks.
Okay, that's how crazy it is. Just up there is where we were before. You can actually see the cable car just up here. So close.
Did we just hit something? Stop. What's happened?
No.
Huh? Anything? Is it us?
I don't know.
Always? Always on film.
So we're in the tunnel. We've got this noise here. And we absolutely crapped ourselves. We came in the tunnel, but it was much louder than this because we just driven past it. I'm not sure exactly what it is. We're actually standstill at the minute. And we actually, to the point where we stopped the truck, got out. We thought, what the hell's the noise? We thought it was we hit something or couldn't work it out. So, but it's not us. so I don't know if it's some sort of alarm. There's lots of cars turning, so we'll see. Fingers crossed we'll get to our destination today. Wow. Right, so there's a good reason why there's no campsites in Kotor, because the whole place is pretty much 3.5 tons. And we've been around the outside of the city now for a little bit, and it's just a no-go, and it's just taking us down these tiny little streets, lots and lots of overgrown trees, and it's just a non-starter really, so we just can't even get a sort of parking space at the minute. Some of the car parks are, you know, they'll fit a small car and that's it. So yeah, we'll see. So I think we're going to head outside of Kotor, stop somewhere, because I know Izzy's starting to feel a bit stressed. Yeah, so there's an example of where we're meant to be going, but it's not going to happen. So back in the truck. It's been one hell of a day. It's gone 5 o'clock now, so let's find somewhere to park up for the night. Well, it's typical me trying to find somewhere off the beaten track. And sometimes you sort of got to get out on foot and check it out, but this is not ideal. It's just way too steep. Not for the truck in terms of accessing it, but in terms of sort of parking up overnight, would never get level, wouldn't even get sort of close to it, sort of hiking uphill as it is at the moment. So I think what we'll do is, there's a little monastery I've just spotted about, well, it's in the distance about 3 or 4 k's away. So I think we'll take a drive down to that, and it might be a goer, because what I would like to do ideally is offload the scooter and get into Kotor at some point tomorrow. We've come this far, I feel like we need to try and make the effort to get in there. And there is where I've left the truck and Izzy at the bottom of this hill, but it's not to be. Okay, so here is our little monastery.
We hope.
Fingers crossed.
There's nobody else here, so I think
Yeah, this could do for a night.
this is perfect for a night, Phil.
Well, this little spot would have been brilliant for the night, but we've just taken a walk around the other side of the little chapel, and absolute bingo, there is the perfect little parking space for the night. There's a little bit of rubbish about, but honestly, where do you see the view? Right, here goes. It's quite literally the end of the road, and there is a bit of rubbish about, but that's pretty good.
Right, after the most horrendous of days, we've now got a problem with our tyre. Don't know if you can hear the hissing. I don't know if it's a slow puncture, something to do with it's coming out of the valve. So Phil's going to put a, presumably Phil's going to put the jack under there. No?
Yeah, I mean, it is slow, but the problem. Honestly.
Couldn't have been a worse day, could
Just
it?
didn't need that today.
At least we've got a bit of space to work here.
Huh?
I'm talking to the camera. At least we've got a bit of space to work here, and we're not in a tunnel or on a switchback road or in the middle of a city centre. But nevertheless, we were looking forward to stopping and just having a cold drink. And now we've got to do this.
Yep, never a dull day on the road. So we have a valve that's playing up. It's the tire didn't go flat, but you could hear it. It's almost like on a timer. Every now and again it would just hiss a little bit, and I thought, well, obviously when I at least need a middle of a tunnel or somewhere, it's going to let me down. So we just thought, right, let's get it changed and let's get it sorted out, get a new valve in there. But what a proper pain in the ass, I must say. Great little spot for changing the wheel, but the guy that actually put on the spare wheel previously put it on with a torque gun, and I can assure you I had a bit of a mission getting it off. Right, the upper specker's on because I need a shower. Well, that was one heck of a day, but we've ended up in a gorgeous little spot. And Izzy's got some gnocchi on the table with a glass of red.
Not homemade, sadly.
And hopefully we'll get into Kotor tomorrow by hook or by crook.
And have a better day.
Yeah, anyway, cheers.
Cheers, babe.